Guys, big change around Express Entry system has been finally announced and it is now active as on November 16th, 2022. IRCC has finally implemented changes in the NOC system, which constitutes an integral part of your Express Entry profile. So if you are an aspirant of coming to Canada, if you have an existing Express Entry profile, or if you're about to make one, this video will help you get that insight because it's going to make or break a file. If you want to know what is more about this NOC change and how is it impacted the Express Entry system, then this video will give you all the insights. So please make sure that you watch till the end. Once again, my name is Sahil and see you on the other side. Guys, welcome back. Once again, my name is Sahil and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I practice in Ontario. My office is here. If you have to get in touch with me, my number is on the screen and the details are there in the description box. More than happy to connect with you. Before we proceed any further, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon because we talk a lot about Canadian immigration. And if you are an aspirant of coming to Canada, then this is the channel that you must be subscribed to all the time. So guys, today IRCC announced this big impact on the Express Entry rounds of invitation and the Express Entry profiles itself. And the announcement says that the NOC skill-based system, which was introduced in the year 2016, has now been switched over to the NOC 2021, which is the TEER-based system. As per the emails sent out by IRCC and also the announcement which was made in the month of July 2022, the IRCC has finally made this big change to Express Entry, and this really means that all the Express Entry profiles need to be updated. But there's a catch. Now, if you go through the email or if you have already been a part of the Express Entry pool, you would have definitely received an email from IRCC and talking about the change that is, we have been let known that the 4 code NOC system, which was a skill based NOC 0 A B C D, is now moved over to the new TEER based, which is the NOC 2021, the TEER based system. Now if you know already that the NOC system talks about 0 A B C and D, and the new TEER based system goes in numbers right from 0 all the way up to 5. Now it's a one-to-one mapping where they say that NOC skill base 0 is equal to TEER 0, then A is 1, B is 2, again B is 3, which also makes a change that 16 new occupations are now a part of the skill set, which I will talk about later in this video. Then you have skill base C, which is now TEER 4, skill D is now TEER 5. So what IRCC says is that these 4 codes, though, so for example, if you are into IT, you would have had a code as 2173 or 2172. That's now moved over to the corresponding TEER based system. So the only change that you have to do now is change the NOC nomenclature. Instead of the skill base 2173, 01, 0601 or anything, has to move towards the new codes. Okay, so that's the first change. The changes have now been made live. So as of today, which is November the 16th, if you have already received an ITA from IRCC, then there are no changes required as of now. Your ITA will continue to be processed as it is. So no change required. But if you haven't received an ITA as of today, which is an invitation to reply, invitation to apply as of today, then this change must be made in your Express Entry profile if you want to participate in the upcoming Express Entry draws. So what IRCC says is that as early as 23rd of November 2022, which is almost about a little less than 10 days from today, IRCC is planning to hold another draw, which is exactly a week from today. So before that week, before that round of invitation, if you still want to be a part of that draw, you can make this change in your NOC system and then make sure that you do not forget to submit your Express Entry file. What IRCC also says is that if you have been invited under the provincial nomination program, then your NOC will continue to be the one that was used in your province. If you have that already in the system, you don't have to make any changes. You can still continue to have that in your PNP. So if you were invited based on a particular NOC code, say 0601 or anything in the PNP, then you continue to keep this same PNP in your current profile. So all in all, guys, The NOC changes have now been made live as they promised in July. Today is November 16th. They have made these changes. But the good news here is that a lot of new occupations have been introduced in the skilled category. Now, if you know already that IRCC under the Express Entry system for Federal Skilled Worker and the Canadian Experience class told us that only NOC 0AB will be allowed, which is the skilled category. And then if you talk about the C and D, they are basically semi-skilled or the trades programs, right? Now, what IRCC says is that earlier, before this change, NOC 0AB did not include occupations like truck drivers or any of them, which we'll just discuss shortly. But with this upcoming change in the tier based system, because NOC B also looks at a tier based system 3, because of that, new occupations have been added and about 3 occupations have left the skilled category, which means these 3 occupations will not be allowed to submit a file under the Federal Skilled Worker or the Canadian Experience class. So let's just have a look at what are the occupations that have been allowed. First to have a look at is the payroll administrators, then dental assistants and dental laboratory assistants, then nurse aides, pharmacy technical assistants. You have elementary and secondary school teachers, which was not there as a part of the list earlier. Then you have sheriffs and bailiffs. Then you have correctional service officers, bylaw enforcement, statisticians. Then you have residential and commercial installers, pest controllers, other repairers and servicers, transport truck drivers. Very important because Canada has a lot of truck drivers. So the transport truck drivers is now a part of the Federal Skilled Worker community. So category Federal Skilled Worker and Canadian Experience class. Big news. This is going to be used amazingly and heavily for people globally. So people who have had truck driving experience from Canada or abroad can make their profiles under the Express Entry system. So this is great. Then you have bus drivers, subway operators, heavy equipment operators and aircraft assemblers. So these are the 16 occupations which have now been made eligible. The other occupations which have been moved out of Express Entry, the skilled category, are other performers, program leaders and instructors, and you have tailors, dressmakers, furriers and milliners. These 3 occupations have left the category, so unfortunately people who are in these occupations would no longer be eligible under the Federal Skilled Worker or the Canadian Experience class. However, they can still have their profiles eligible under the Federal Skilled Trade category. If they want to apply under that, make sure that you have the corresponding requirements of that particular program ready. Apart from this, one basic question that people generally want to ask, that okay, I had that LMIA, or if I have the 50 points, do I still get it? So answer is yes. The 50 points for the arranged LMIA still continue to be the same as they were under 0AB, because otherwise 0AB is still going to go forward to the tier based systems in the corresponding codes as well. So there is no problem and there is no issue in that. So you can definitely continue to use that. What we understood from the IRCC's email is that even though they have made the switch, they are still giving people a leverage to use the previously issued LMIAs or anything to still have those points calculated until IRCC, ESDC or the new the PNP programs, because we have received emails from SINP as well, until all of those programs have made this switch. So all of these switches have happened. IRCC entirely along with all the other PNPs are now using the new NOC 2021, which is the tier based system. So it is now time for you to head towards your Express Entry profiles and make the necessary changes so that you still are eligible under the profiles. Guys, if you have anything else to discuss, if you want to discuss your personal profile with me or make sure that you make these changes, if you need our help, please feel free to schedule a consultation with me. I would be more than happy to speak with you. Once again, I wish you all the best and I really hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.